Oh, welcome in everyone to Fantasy Farm Sports YouTube page. I am Jack Stache coming at you with Thanksgiving Day picks and predictions. Every week we give you picks for our Thursday night game. This week we have a slate of games because the NFL is so kind to give us a couple games that we can just go out there and spend our hard-earned money on. I'm really excited. Guys, thank you so much for subscribing. All you guys that, went on your phones and subscribe to this page. I really appreciate it. We are up over 100, headed towards 1,000. You know what we're going to do when we win these games? Because it's not going to be an if. It's always a when. Very confident what we have picked for you guys today. When we win these games, we will take some of that money and put it aside for more games. And the other parts of the money we will take and improve our space so that when our friends come over, we have some cool things to look at. I got myself a helmet from Gridiron Man Cave that features Fantasy Farm Sports and a mustache just like mine. Look at that. It's a fine work of art from those guys over at Gridiron Man Cave. Super happy to have them as our sponsors. As always, they'll take care of your sports space and improve things. Now, guys, I just want you to relax because I know there's a lot of travel happening today, right? Everyone's trying to get somewhere fast. It's the nature of the holidays. It's the nature of the beast. Everyone's trying to get there. We hate the red lights. We don't want to wait. So I'll provide something for you to listen to. But remember, once we get there, we're there. Right? Like as the traveler on Thanksgiving weekend, right? Once you get to your destination, your work is done. I know you got the airports. I know you have the bus travel. I know you have the red lights in the car, the honking horns. But once you get there, your only job is to sit back and relax and let the host take care of everything, right? My point is that when you're done traveling, the pressure ends. It does, right? Upon arrival, it's over. It's done. It's complete. You completed your end of the bargain. The pressure then shifts to everybody that was waiting for you, right? Oh my God, Jave is here. Oh, Sally has arrived, right? Your in-laws or your daughter or your son have arrived for the holidays. Now you got to provide the meal, the TV, the good time, the drinks. The pressure is now on the house that people have been traveling to. Oh God, my mom makes the best turkey, honey. She makes the best stuffing, the best casserole. Pressure shifts to mom. The pressure shifts to, dad showing everybody a good time, right? That's where the pressure shifts to. And my point in mentioning all of this to the travelers and then the people having everyone there is that that's what we're dealing with this week. That's what this NFL week is all about. Usually, listen to me very closely here. Usually the home team holds all of the advantages. Everyone has to come in, right? They have to deal with, not being in their own locker, hotels, this, that. There's complications. This week, it's the away team that kind of gets to relax once the traveling is done. Right? Everybody that is traveling, once they are there, gets to chill and relax, right? Home teams this week, home teams, especially on holidays, have the pressure to get their family tickets. You ever think about that? Right? You ever think about mom, dad, grandma, grandpa wanting to come see their boy play on Thanksgiving Day? Oh, it's a dream come true. But there comes a lot of pressure with that because you have to get a hold of certain people to get a certain amount of tickets. I need 20 for this family. I need 15 over here. You're moving around and trying to create a nice environment, just like mom is all week, right? Just like mom is all week. Mom's under a lot of pressure to make this dinner fantastic. And she's under the same pressure that she puts herself in every year because she's awesome at it. The dinner's delicious. Everybody wants. If we weren't so tired, mom would get a round of applause. but it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work getting this turkey and the stuffing and the casseroles and the tickets for the home teams and the home families together, right? Athletes have to get all of the travel accommodations set and prepared for their families. It's very important. It's very important that they get all these things done so that they can go out and perform. But there's still all this extra stuff that they never have to deal with. Usually it's a regular home game. Whatever, it's a home game. We'll go out there, it's our lockers, right, with my own bed, feeling good, coming out, right, and performing. But there's all this extra baggage for the holidays. It makes it a more stressful time. We all know this. The holidays can be difficult. We enjoy them, we look forward to them, but there are stressful situations. I don't necessarily just hand home teams guarantees this week. I can't do that. I can't give home teams a perfect, just, oh, well, they're at home. They're a great team. They're absolutely going to win. I can't do that because at the end of the day, there are complications. There's more pressure, right? There are more pressures on the home base this week to perform. Let's get to some of these games. We've got the Bears traveling to a 10-1. That's right. They have only lost one game. Where did they lose that game? They lost at home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they traveled and came in and had the replay of their playoff performance. Only they lost. They only have one loss to Detroit Lions. They are 9.5-point favorites. 9.5-point favorites. And you're sitting there and you're feeling good, right? There is no way that the Detroit Lions could lose at home, Thanksgiving, great team. Oh my God, finally they're going to win. I'm here to tell you I don't believe in it. I really don't. I think there's a lot of pressure to get all those tickets. I think there's a lot of pressure on this team to perform. Here's some more information for you. David Montgomery, banged up. Amon-Ra St. Brown, banged up. Both are going to play. That's what we're being told. Both athletes will be on the field as soon as the kickoff begins. How long do they last? I'm not so sure because we need to save these players. I mean, I know you want to win every game. Jack, you want to go out there and win every game. You want to win every game you possibly can. That's absolutely true. But if it's for sake of losing or saving a player when you have a tremendous record like this, maybe the W doesn't happen on the record side. Maybe you just want to get out healthy, right? Maybe you just want to manage where your team is at this point. It's very different than if you were fighting for your playoff life. The Detroit Lions have done that. Congratulations, Detroit. You're going to the playoffs. And I know Dan Campbell's a very emotional coach, but he's gotten a little bit better at managing those emotions. He has. I love the Bears in this spot. If you want to get frisky, take the Bears to win. On the road, I know they got no chance, but here's the thing. The Bears have played a lot better lately. No one pays attention. Should have beat the Packers. I know shoulda, woulda, coulda. But they played well that game. Last week against Minnesota, we went to overtime. They're playing inspired football. I don't know if they can make the playoffs. But since the firing of Shane Waldron, that offense looks for real, baby. I mean, these Bears look good. And I do believe that there's a real opportunity to upset the Detroit Lions. And here's another thing real quick. The Detroit Lions had the most money on the books to win the Super Bowl. And I bet my money that all the public that will be sitting home and waiting to watch those Detroit Lions tomorrow will think it's a slam dunk victory. You'll be just sitting there and you'll go, oh, honey, I don't know, watch the Lions are finally going to win on Thanksgiving. Well, maybe that's the consensus, but you haven't been paying attention to the Bears. I know they're boring. This time of year, they're usually hibernating. That's what Bears do. But I'm telling you, These Bears are live dogs. I believe in the Bears. Take the 9.5. Please, for the love of God, just don't think that the Lions, because they're on the home field, it's Thanksgiving Day, everyone's behind them. Don't just take the Lions. Don't do that, because your money will end up in bookies' pockets, I promise. I'm taking the Bears getting 9.5. That's where my money will sit. I think that the Bears are plenty good enough to cover 9.5. I don't think the other problem with Detroit is they don't get pressure on the quarterback. So as long as we're talking about there is no pressure coming in because Chicago is the traveling team. No pressure coming into Detroit, no expectations. And since losing their leading pass rusher, they haven't been able to get pressure on the quarterback. And that's the Detroit Lions. If Caleb Williams has time to sit back there and deal, be very careful with what kind of athlete you're talking about. Because I know what people have said. Oh, well, he's a bust and he's the... Stop it. He's a great talent. He'll figure it out. He's going to get better. He has been getting better. You do not want to be on the opposite end of a great athlete with fantastic offensive talent on Thanksgiving Day. Dry turkey in your mouth, and you're mad because you made the wrong play. Take the Bears. That's where your money should go. Moving on to our next game. We've got the New York Giants traveling to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, Jack, is there as much pressure on the Cowboys as there is the Lions to get people tickets? No, because the Cowboys' expectations have been dashed. They decided to lose 4 out of the last 5 weeks. Now, listen, I'm being a little facetious. They didn't decide to lose. They've had injuries. They've had talent issues. They've had McCarthy issues. They've had everybody just not working in Dallas. But they've had everybody not working in Dallas for a minute. Now, let's think about that. If you're playing with backups, right, after a couple weeks, they're the starters. And I know that's well, of course they're the starters, but sit back and think about that. Once you are the backup and you're starting to get cohesion with these players, you're the starting unit. Okay, it's really interesting that the Dallas Cowboys are starting to come together as a starting unit. Now, on the opposite side, all I have written on my paper next to the Giants is junk. I have junk written there because this team has gone from caring about football to and treating human beings correctly to just not. They let Saquon Barkley go in the offseason. He's running wild in Philly. You know, how they just treated Daniel Jones, whether you like Daniel Jones or not, they treated him terribly. He's not out at the clubs, right? He's not partying. He's trying his best. And I believe that somebody that's at least giving full effort should be given the right to be treated correctly. I'm a weird guy like that. I think that, the Giants demoted him. Fine. I understand that. You don't want him to be your starting quarterback anymore because you're playing for next year or whatever. You could do that. That's fine. He's your second or third string quarterback. Not a big deal. And then what they did was Brian Daboll thought it was a great message to the team to take that same player, make an example of him, and move him to the practice squad playing safety, which is not even his position. Now, up until that point, Daniel Jones remained quiet. He had nothing to say. And then when he was moved to safety and forced to play safety for a practice squad, he walked upstairs and goes, "You know what, guys, I'm kind of done here. We're beyond a talking point, and now I'm being embarrassed in front of the team." And that's what they did. They embarrassed Daniel Jones in front of the team. And subsequently, that same team did not show up to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because players in the NFL are much different than college. They're all drafted athletes, first of all, but now they have families. They have lives outside of football. They're grown men. And if they see that you treated a grown man that way, well, why wouldn't you treat me that way? If I make a few mistakes on the football field, you're going to treat me like a child, like I don't matter, terribly. and everybody has now quit on the Giants. Every single player is now making business decisions on they're not tackling. They don't care. Dable's a joke, and he embarrassed one of the adults that tried his best. That's not how you act. It's not. So I have junk written next to the Giants, and the Cowboys are -3.5. I'm not worried whether the Cowboys cover 3.5. I'm not a huge Cowboy believer. I do believe some of that talent is coming back. Parsons looks good. Cooper Rush is fine. They'll get enough done in this game. Give me the Cowboys on the money line. You don't have to do much. Sometimes these games that you're watching, right, you're just trying to pick a winner and collect a few bucks. That's what we're trying to do here. It's better to cash winners than search for losers, right? Sometimes you're trying to do all this work, and you're like, you know what? Just give me the winner. And the winner of the Giants-Cowboys game will be the Cowboys. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. Our late game is the Miami Dolphins versus the Green Bay Packers. Another home team. Jack, do they have to worry about getting tickets? Well, they don't, because the Green Bay Packers are an exception. They're a small market, fantastically run franchise, and small market owned by the people, for the people, by the people. That's the Green Bay Packers. These are legacy ticket holders. It's almost impossible to get your grandma and grandpa and your mom and dad tickets. I mean, there's a whole line of red tape. So you just do what you can as a Packers player and go out there and perform. That's your job. You don't have legacy. There's legacy ticket holders that you would have to get in front of to get tickets for this Packers game. Don't have to worry about that. You really don't. You don't, right? It's just you playing football in the frozen tundra at night, Thanksgiving Day, against the Miami Dolphins. And, the Dolphins are playing fine. They're playing fine. They haven't gotten over the hump and beat any teams. That's just where we're at. You went to go play Buffalo, meh. You lost, right? You beat the Rams, but the Rams aren't playing great. You lost in Arizona by a field goal. You're just almost there, but you're the Dolphins. And fans agree with me, and that's how they feel as well. I'm not knocking the team. They want over the mountaintop. They're still climbing and can't find it. By the way, Miami hasn't proven that they can play in cold weather. I don't make the rules here. They just haven't. They have done nothing to convince me that they can play in cold weather. And this Packers team will beat the hell out of you. For all those Packers fans out there, they are watching a masterpiece by Matt LaFleur. He's a fantastic coach. That team goes out there and they smack you in the face. It's cold. They don't care. The Packers are there to beat the hell out of you. And I don't think the Miami Dolphins are built for a team to just beat the hell out of them. I think their finesse, I think their speed, I think their scheme. What do you do in the cold when the Green Bay Packers hit you and there's blood on your chin? Because I don't think Miami survives this game. The Packers are -3 here. This would be a game I would be comfortable taking the spread. I think the Green Bay Packers on national TV, fans in the stadium, 10 degrees, watching the Dolphins quit in the cold. You can't stop that. It's human nature. It's very hard to get over an environment that you cannot stand. Their thin blood won't survive it. I like the Dolphins. I like McDaniels. I like the speed. I like the story. I do not like them in Green Bay. So here's what I like. Let's recap these real quick. I like the Bears to win tomorrow. That's right. I'm going to go out on a limb and take those Bears. I've got the guts. Do you? Now, we're going to move south and we're going to look at the Cowboys. I like the Cowboys over the Giants. Giants are clearly quitting and throwing the rest of the season. It's not hard to see, folks. And if you're feeling frisky, I still like the Packers at home. I love the way they play. I know the Dolphins have a lot to play for, but the cold will take over in the third and the fourth quarters. Guys, I am Jack Stache, Fantasy Farm Sports. Have a happy and safe Thanksgiving with you and your loved ones. Enjoy the rest of your day.